Awesome. We are here today with Gable House, which is a bed and breakfast in downtown Durango. And I just wanted to get the exposure out for this wonderful place. And so we're going to ask some questions to one of the owners. And so I wanted to ask first, where are you located for anyone that's looking for a bed and breakfast?
So the Gable House is in the grid in downtown Durango on 8th Street and 5th Avenue. We face 5th Avenue. So we are from Business District, closest thing being the Durango Arts Center, just 3 blocks to the middle of downtown Main Street.
Yes, I love this location. It's so walkable. If you're coming into town to visit, you can just, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to Main Street. And so that's one of my favorite things about where you're
Ours
at.
too, yes, and our guests love it.
Yes, that's wonderful. So how did you get started in the bed and breakfast business? Was this something that you'd been wanting to do your whole lives, or were you just kind of like, this is new, this is different?
So, no, it wasn't something that I had aspired to or was seeking. I think as a person who loves history, I always thought it would be really interesting and fun to live in a historic home and have a bed and breakfast.
Right.
We actually, my partner Charlie and I, decided to find a place in Durango. It had been a destination for me for a long time. I had a nursing career in New Mexico, in northern New Mexico, and had looked at coming here. My youngest child went to school here, and I think my words to her were, go where you want, but this is my happy place and this is where I'd like to be.
Yeah.
So we had a house that we thought we were going to be able to purchase, and as you know, the real estate market around here has been pretty crazy over the last few years. So that didn't happen, and we were just driving around in the grid, and we stumbled upon this.
Wow.
And the reality is I said, wow, the Gable House is still for sale, because it had been for sale, and we'd been watching the market for a while. And we were on the phone with the realtor before we left town that day. We were living in Santa Fe and still have a place there. And then I think we were under contract within a few days.
Oh, wow.
And we hadn't been through the house yet.
So it was
very
listed.
serendipitous.
It was listed when you purchased it?
Yes.
Okay. And then your partner, Charlie, who was your co-owner, right, was telling me that you had purchased it from someone that had originally purchased it and used it as both dorms and a B&B. Is that correct?
So just briefly, there's a lot of incredible history here. It was built by merchants, and if we get the opportunity to go upstairs, I'll show you the room of the family that built the home. That was the Shute family, and then another merchant had the home for a few years. And then in 1913, it sold to Dr. Benjamin Oshner, who ran it as his private hospital. Fast forward, in the mid to late 30s, he sold it to another group of private physicians who had a private hospital, and then it was a county and city hospital. After that, they moved Fort Lewis up to the hill, and they didn't have enough rooms for students. So some private investors bought the home and turned it into Lewis Hall. Wow. So we don't know how many students were in here at one time, but I'm guessing,
that is so cool.
A couple of dozen or more.
And so what year was that?
That was 1956, and it was a room house. It was never an actual dorm, nor was it owned by Fort Lewis. That said, the previous owner had this house for 52 years, and she bought it as a 19-year-old college student. So.
Wow. That is so interesting.
She's responsible for almost all of the restoration for this home, because when it was a hospital, it had linoleum on the floors per hospital regulations, and every wood surface was painted.
Oh, goodness.
So
wow.
She took it from that to this, and it's truly a stewardship just to be here.
So then my question would be, what's this footprint of the property? How large is it?
Oh gosh, the property is 4 city lots.
Oh wow!
The home,
it's much bigger than I realized.
the home, it runs street to alley, and then I think 2 lots wide, and corner lot, which is why that is. And then we do have a carriage house in back that Dr. Oshner brought in for his staff to be here.
Okay.
And then the home itself is somewhere close to between 6,000 and 7,000 square feet.
Oh, wow.
It's big.
Okay.
It's quite a chore to keep clean.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure. I could see that.
What's very interesting is that in my life, I was a nurse professionally, and I owned a mercantile in Taos for years. Very interesting that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. So then how many can you accommodate at once?
So we have 5 units.
Okay.
We have some that can be 2-bedroom suites and share a bath, but we do have 5 bathrooms and 5 units and 19 pillows because some rooms have more than 1 bed.
Oh, that's probably, do you ever fill it up all at once?
We haven't had all pillows filled yet. So
I'm sure when it's close to filled, it's just so much fun to get to know everyone. Pass her through. So wonderful. Well, then I think it might be time to do a tour if that's all right with you.
Oh, fun. All right, shall we?
Let's.